You're here because something inside you is tired. Tired of the confusion. Tired of asking the same questions and getting no answers. Tired of looking at your life and not understanding why things happened the way they did. You've been walking in fog for so long that you forgot what it feels like to see clearly. But tonight, something is going to change. Tonight, God is going to give you the clarity you've been begging for. Maybe you've spent this whole year wondering why that door closed. Why that person left. Why that blessing didn't come. Why you had to go through so much pain when all you wanted was peace. You prayed. You cried. You asked God to show you the way, and sometimes it felt like He wasn't listening. Sometimes it felt like you were talking to the ceiling, and the silence was louder than any answer you could have received. But here's what you need to understand right now, in this very moment. God wasn't silent. He was preparing you. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every moment of confusion was part of a bigger plan that your eyes couldn't see yet. You were looking for answers in the middle of the storm, but God was building something in you that could only be built in the darkness. He was teaching you to trust Him even when you couldn't see, even when nothing made sense, even when your heart was breaking and your mind was full of questions. And now, as this year comes to an end, as we stand on the edge of something new, God is about to pull back the curtain. He's about to show you why. Not because you earned it. Not because you figured it out. But because His timing is perfect, and this is the moment He chose to give you eyes to see what He's been doing all along. You see, clarity doesn't come when we demand it. It comes when we're ready to receive it. And maybe you weren't ready before. Maybe you needed to go through everything you went through to get to this place, this exact moment, where your heart is humble enough and your spirit is broken enough to truly hear what God wants to say to you. Because sometimes God has to strip away everything we thought we knew, everything we thought we needed, so that we can finally see what He's been trying to give us all along. Tonight is not just another night. This is the night of the turning. The night when God takes the confusion and replaces it with understanding. The night when the questions that kept you awake finally find their answers. Not all at once, maybe. Not in the way you expected. But in the way that will heal you. In the way that will set you free. Think about all the times you asked God why. Why did I have to lose that person? Why did that opportunity slip away? Why did I have to walk through that valley alone? And God, in His infinite wisdom, didn't answer right away because He knew that the answer wouldn't make sense to you yet. He knew that you needed to live through the process first. You needed to feel the weight of it. You needed to learn what could only be learned in the waiting. But now, the waiting is coming to an end. Not because the calendar is changing. Not because it's New Year's Eve. But because God has been working behind the scenes, arranging things, moving things, preparing things that you couldn't see. And tonight, He's going to begin revealing it to you. Tonight, you're going to start understanding why you had to go through what you went through. Maybe clarity will come as a whisper in your spirit. Maybe it will come through a conversation that changes everything. Maybe it will come when you're alone, in the quiet, and suddenly something clicks in your mind and you finally understand. However it comes, it's coming. God promised you that He would never leave you confused forever. He promised that He would guide you, that He would make your path clear, that He would be a lamp unto your feet and a light unto your path. And if you're watching this right now, if these words are reaching your heart, it's not by accident. God brought you here because He wants you to know that your season of confusion is ending. He wants you to know that the clarity you've been praying for is on its way. He wants you to step into this new year with your eyes wide open, finally able to see what He's been preparing for you. So take a deep breath. Let go of the frustration. Let go of the anger at not understanding. Let go of the fear that you'll never know why. Because tonight, God is about to answer you. Tonight, He's about to give you the clarity that will change everything. And when it comes, when you finally see it, you're going to fall to your knees in gratitude because you'll realize that God's plan was so much better than anything you could have imagined. This is your moment. This is your night. And God is about to speak. Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to finally see? Because the fog is lifting, and the light is breaking through, and everything is about to make sense in a way it never has before. Hold on. Your clarity is coming. If this message is touching your heart right now, if you feel something stirring inside you, do me a favor. Subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Not for me, but so that more people who are searching for clarity, who are tired of the confusion, can find these words and know that God hasn't forgotten them. Share this light with someone who needs it tonight. There's something sacred about endings. Something holy about the last page of a chapter. And tonight, as this year breathes its final hours, God is doing something in the spiritual realm that most people can't see yet. He's closing doors that needed to be closed. He's finishing lessons that needed to be learned. He's completing a work in you that started long before you even realized it. You thought this year was just hard. You thought it was just painful. You thought it was just one loss after another, one disappointment after another, one unanswered prayer after another. But what if I told you that every single thing that happened this year was God preparing you for the clarity that's coming tonight? What if every closed door was Him protecting you from something that would have destroyed the person you're becoming? What if every no was actually Him saying not yet, because what He has for you requires a different version of you, a stronger version, a version that could only be forged in the fire you just walked through? God doesn't waste anything. Not your tears. Not your pain. Not your confusion. Not a single moment of your struggle. He's been using it all to shape you, to mold you, to prepare you for what He's about to reveal. And tonight, in the stillness between the old and the new, He's going to show you glimpses of why it all had to happen exactly the way it did. Maybe you lost someone this year who you thought would be in your life forever. Maybe it was a friendship that crumbled. Maybe it was a relationship that ended in ways that broke your heart into pieces. Maybe it was a family member who walked away. And you've been carrying that pain, asking God why He allowed it, why He didn't fix it, why He didn't change their heart or open their eyes. But tonight, God wants you to understand something crucial. Some people are only meant to walk with you for a season. Some people are in your life to teach you what you needed to learn, and then they have to go so that you can become who you're meant to be. It hurts. God knows it hurts. He sees every tear you've cried over that loss. But He also sees what you can't see yet. He sees that if that person had stayed, you would have stayed stuck. You would have stayed small. You would have stayed in a version of your life that was never meant to be permanent. God loved you too much to let you settle. He loved you too much to let you build your life around someone who wasn't part of His plan for your future. So He removed them. Not to punish you. Not because you did something wrong. But because He has something better, something bigger, something that requires you to walk a different path. And maybe you lost something else this year. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was a plan you had for your life that just fell apart no matter how hard you tried to hold it together. You gave everything to it. You prayed over it. You believed God was going to make it work. And then it didn't. And you've been sitting in the rubble of that loss, wondering if you heard God wrong, wondering if you missed something, wondering if you failed. But here's the truth that God wants to burn into your heart tonight. You didn't fail. You didn't miss anything. You didn't hear Him wrong. What happened was that God saw further down the road than you could see, and He knew that what you were chasing wasn't going to take you where He needs you to go. He knew that you were pouring yourself into something that had an expiration date, something that was never meant to be your final destination. And instead of letting you waste years of your life on it, He pulled the plug. He closed that door. He ended that season. It felt like death. It felt like failure. It felt like everything you worked for was for nothing. But tonight, God is giving you new eyes to see that it wasn't for nothing. It was all preparation. It was all training. It was all building something in you that you're going to need for what's coming next. Every skill you learned. Every lesson you absorbed. Every moment of perseverance. It's all going to make sense when God opens the door He's been preparing for you all along. This is what clarity looks like. It's not just getting answers to your questions. It's understanding that God's ways are higher than your ways. It's realizing that when He says no, it's because He's already said yes to something you haven't seen yet. It's knowing deep in your spirit that nothing was wasted, nothing was random, nothing was a mistake. It was all part of the plan. It was all working together for your good, even when it felt like everything was falling apart. And tonight, as the clock ticks toward midnight, as we stand on the threshold of a new beginning, God is asking you to trust Him with what you don't understand yet. He's asking you to release the need to figure it all out right now. He's asking you to let go of the bitterness, the anger, the resentment over what you lost, and instead open your hands to receive what He's about to give you. Because here's what's about to happen. In this new year, God is going to start connecting the dots. Things that made no sense are going to suddenly click into place. People you thought you'd never meet are going to walk into your life at exactly the right time. Opportunities you couldn't have imagined are going to present themselves. And you're going to look back at this year, at all the pain and confusion, and you're going to see it differently. You're going to see God's hand in all of it. You're going to see that He was never absent, never silent, never indifferent. He was always working, always moving, always preparing you for this exact moment. So tonight, let your heart be still. Let your spirit rest. Let the confusion fade away because clarity is here. God is speaking. He's revealing. He's showing you that everything you went through was leading you to this new beginning. And what's coming is going to be so much better than anything you left behind. Trust Him. Believe Him. Receive the clarity He's giving you tonight. If these words are bringing peace to your soul, if you're finally starting to see God's hand in your story, I want to ask you to hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. Let's help more people find this message. Let's help more hearts find the clarity they've been searching for. Your simple action can change someone's life tonight. There comes a moment in every person's life when God stops explaining and starts revealing. When He stops answering your questions and starts showing you His glory. When He stops giving you what you think you need and starts giving you what He knows you're finally ready to receive. And tonight, you're standing in that moment. Right now. Right here. This is it. You've been asking God for clarity, and He's about to flood your life with it. But I need you to understand something important. The clarity God gives isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it shows you that you were holding on to things you needed to let go of. Sometimes it reveals that you were running after things that were never meant for you. Sometimes it opens your eyes to see that the very thing you thought was your blessing was actually your prison, and God had to break you out of it so you could be free. That's hard to accept. It's hard to look at your life and realize that some of the things you fought so hard to keep were the very things keeping you from your destiny. It's hard to admit that maybe you were wrong about certain people, certain plans, certain dreams. But that's what true clarity does. It doesn't just make you feel better. It makes you see better. It makes you think better. It makes you choose better. And God knows that you're strong enough now to handle the truth. You weren't before. Before, the truth would have broken you. Before, you would have resisted it, fought against it, refused to believe it. But now, after everything you've been through, after all the ways God has been working on your heart, you're ready. You're ready to see clearly. You're ready to hear the truth. You're ready to accept what is and release what isn't. So let me tell you what God is revealing to you tonight. He's showing you that you are not the same person who started this year. You're not the same person who walked through those trials. You're not the same person who cried those tears. You've been transformed. You've been refined. You've been prepared. And the version of you that's about to step into this new year is stronger, wiser, more grounded in faith than you've ever been before. God needed you to go through everything you went through because the doors He's about to open require a different level of maturity. The blessings He's about to release require a different level of trust. The relationships He's about to bring into your life require a different level of wisdom. And you didn't have that at the beginning of this year. You do now. That's why the timing is perfect. That's why it all had to happen when it did. You see, God wasn't delaying your blessing. He was developing your character. He wasn't withholding your answer. He was deepening your faith. He wasn't ignoring your prayers. He was preparing you to steward what He's about to give you. Because God never gives you something you're not ready to handle. He never opens a door you're not ready to walk through. He never brings someone into your life that you're not ready to love the right way. And tonight, as you stand on the edge of this new beginning, God is saying to you, you're ready now. You've been through the fire and you didn't burn up. You've been through the storm and you didn't drown. You've been through the valley and you didn't lose your faith. You made it. You survived. You overcame. And now, everything changes. In this new year, you're going to see doors open that you stopped praying for because you thought they'd never open. You're going to see relationships restored that you thought were dead forever. You're going to see provision come from places you never expected. You're going to see your faith rewarded in ways that will leave you speechless. Because God has been working behind the scenes this whole time, arranging things, preparing things, lining things up for this exact moment. But here's what you need to do. You need to step into this new year with your eyes wide open. No more walking in confusion. No more second-guessing every decision. No more doubting God's plan for your life. The clarity is here. The fog has lifted. You can see now. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward knowing that God is with you, that He's for you, that He's already gone ahead of you and made a way. Don't look back at what you lost. Don't dwell on what didn't work out. Don't waste another moment mourning what God already told you wasn't meant for you. Let it go. Release it. Thank God for the lesson and keep moving forward. Because what's ahead of you is so much greater than anything you left behind. And when the doubts try to creep back in, when the old questions start to surface again, when the enemy tries to steal your clarity and fill your mind with confusion, I want you to remember this moment. Remember this night. Remember how God spoke to your heart and showed you that He's been faithful all along. Remember that everything you went through had a purpose. Remember that your pain wasn't wasted. Remember that God never stopped working on your behalf. This new year isn't just another year. It's your year of manifestation. Your year of breakthrough. Your year of seeing everything God promised you start to come to pass. But it starts with you believing it. It starts with you receiving the clarity He's giving you tonight. It starts with you making the decision right now that you're done living in confusion, done questioning His plan, done doubting His timing. God is giving you clarity tonight because He needs you to move forward with certainty. He needs you to step into your purpose without hesitation. He needs you to walk in the fullness of who He created you to be. And you can't do that if you're still looking back, still wondering, still trying to figure out what went wrong. Nothing went wrong. Everything went exactly the way it needed to go to get you here. To this moment. To this revelation. To this clarity. And now that you see it, now that you understand it, you have a choice. You can hold on to the past and stay stuck. Or you can embrace this new season and everything God has prepared for you. I'm praying that you choose the new. I'm praying that you choose faith over fear. I'm praying that you choose to trust God's plan even when you can't see the whole picture yet. Because the clarity He's giving you tonight isn't just about understanding the past. It's about seeing the future He has for you. It's about knowing that your best days aren't behind you. They're ahead of you. And they're starting right now. So as this year ends and a new one begins, lift your hands and thank God for the clarity. Thank Him for the journey. Thank Him for never giving up on you. Thank Him for loving you enough to take you through the process. And thank Him for what's coming, for the new doors, the new opportunities, the new blessings, the new level of life He's about to bring you into. You made it. You're here. And your season of clarity has begun. Walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with faith. Walk forward knowing that God is with you every step of the way. This is your time. This is your moment. And everything is about to change. If this message has touched your soul, if you feel God speaking to your heart through these words, I want to ask you one more time to subscribe and leave a like. Share this with someone who needs to hear it tonight. Let's spread this message of hope and clarity to every person who's been waiting for God to speak. Your support helps us reach more hearts. Thank you for being here. God bless you, and Happy New Year.